So last week, I went in on Matt Walsh of the Daily Wire, who said that he could pinpoint when pop culture died. He expanded this to 2006, 2007, 2008. Great pinpoint accuracy there, Matt, you flannel-wearing, bearded weirdo who's actually older than I thought he was. But yeah, he's very tapped in with his myopic approach, only taking into consideration movies and television. And to go say No Country for Old Men was great. I mean, come on. I want to further clarify my statement that 1997 is when pop culture peaked and really started to die off. That is where we had our slow decline. So much so that even with hindsight, few are able to see it. Now, movies in the 90s had our best filmmakers working at the peak of their craft, telling innovative stories that could utilize CGI, but not as a crutch. We weren't churning out sequels. This wasn't a franchise mill. Even by 2007, when Matt Walsh thinks that pop culture died, or rather its last peak coincided with, we had already started franchises. We just weren't fatigued with them yet. Actually, it's 2005 is when we had the reboot enter the vernacular of our audiences. I remember being quite put off by Batman Begins. We've already had Batman. What, we're doing this over? Really? I remember Batman. In fact, that was the first Batman film that I did not go to see in theaters. I had seen all of them. Let's exclude the one from the 60s. You know, Keaton through present, thinking, you know, I'm just going to sit this one out. Because we had already done that. And Superman also had gotten a reboot. But let's go back to where I think much of this occurred. 1997, not 2007. 2007 has your iPhone, Matt Walsh, and that's where everything declined? No. 1997 had a different invention. We were all going along pretty well. Things were very much set in their ways. Television was in color for decades. And we were pretty much good with that. There weren't a lot of innovations. The Sony Trinitron was billed as flat, whereas there was a curve to television, right? It was flat, but we weren't yet in the flat panel business, were we? We didn't have our flat hanging LCDs till Philips introduced them in 1998. How did we get innovation to come about? We had VHS tape cassettes. We were carefully cultivating, some collecting dust. We didn't really collect a lot. We recorded things that we watched off of television. And whether we did that bootleg style or with VCR Plus, right? Remember that? Trying to get a recording or watch a game later taped. It didn't quite look as good as on the broadcast, but we were okay with it. 1997 brings us the DVD. And that is where media really changed. Things became digital. We had to have digital intermediates, editing our movies digitally, taking away some of what the film, not just the grain, but the lack of perfection in there made things earnest and truthful. And now things are all too clean. We have overly digitized lives presented on screen now. Where television looked to be cheaper, run-of-the-mill, we could shoot that in video. Okay, it's just a Star Wars Trek series, whatever. We'll shoot that in video. We saved film for the big screen. When you made a movie, you shot on film. Now we just, both directions, yeah. We don't have any way to delineate what looks like a movie or not. You could say anything coming to theaters you want to chastise looks like a TV show, is what people will tell you. But actually, we didn't really widespread adopt the DVD in households until I think the PlayStation 2, which was a way to get the DVD in by being the console to have. I tell people that if the Sega Dreamcast had a DVD player and 2 analog sticks, we'd be on Dreamcast 6 by now, if not further up. It's just very unfortunate that Sega didn't have that in mind. They went for cheaper cost-cutting measures and ultimately made a system that was easy to pirate. But I think that the DVD really led us to where we've gotten today. Think of Netflix, for example. Do you guys remember getting Netflix in the mailbox? Because I do. I had a Netflix subscription in which I got discs in the mail to watch, and then you send them back and you get another one. And I kind of remember still peeling apart those envelopes and this little sleeve you slide stuff into. We couldn't have done that with VHS, could we? No, I don't think so. So if we look at it this way, is the DVD, which begets high definition TV? Oh, but Vaughn, come on now. DVDs are not up to the resolution of high definition TVs. DVDs give you 480p, not 720p, 1080i, 1080p. They don't do that. That's where you get there. We were perfectly okay with just staying on VHS, watching our standard TV, having our cable, and then the DVD shows up. And then it becomes an arm race from there, doesn't it? So with that in mind, we start to question if we should go to the movie theaters anymore, don't we? There wasn't widespread high-definition TV adoption in 2002. That was the year that I actually first saw my plasma TV. Not my plasma TV, but the first one I saw. Tiger Woods playing plasma TV. It was the summer of 2002. It was a 50-inch plasma TV for $15,000. And I believe it was 720p also. We balk at that. Come on, you get a better picture than that for $100 now at Target, right? But what else happened in 2002? Earlier that year, really before the summer blockbuster season as it was then known, we had a movie called Spider-Man that had the first meteoric landing, the first $100 million opening weekend. That is where many things changed. It's not, oh, the Avengers, MCU, that's what no. Spider-Man set the tempo. The other studios simply tried to copy it. Everybody wanted that big opening weekend. Screw the word of mouth. Screw the storytelling. We will just go in on IPs and franchises people like. It's finally coming to the screen. Oh, okay, well, we've built it up. This is the way we're doing it now. Spider-Man set that pace. In 1997, we actually saw the death of the superhero franchise, right? Warner Brothers had ran a dry. Warner Brothers was out of the game with Batman and Robin in 1997. Killed it. Now, slowly, we start to bring back things. We go over to Marvel. Shrewdly enough, the Marvel properties didn't dip out entirely, right? I guess they'd already had Blade in the works. We're going to have X-Men. And now we bring in Spider-Man. And that, going forward, makes everybody have to copy Spider-Man. Because we had a brand new movie based on a property that is born outside cinema. Go out there and defeat unique cinema properties such as Star Wars. When it comes to... You thought that no movie was more hyped than Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and then it gets dicked down by Spider-Man 3 years later? That is a watershed moment right there, folks. Oh, and on television, what did we have? Oh, we had things like Seinfeld, must-see TV on NBC, appointment viewing, rounded. But once we were able to get TiVo out there, once we were able to go highly digitized with our entertainment and present it on our schedule, it didn't much matter. Cutting out the commercials led to slop. Oh, well, you sign up for a subscription service and, well, you pay to not see the ads, but there is no driving factor to make things good. The ads being paid for were because programs were good and therefore watched. Then it just becomes about cutting deals. Where is the incentive for quality? Matt Walsh really doesn't go into this, doesn't really understand how going digital and not just your phone gets us here. There is no Netflix to stream without the DVD. Now, If I want to go into other avenues that I guess Matt Walsh just can't really get into, music, he says, died off well before 2007. And like I say, 1997, a crucial point for pop culture. It's in 97 that we really get the invasion of Spice Girls, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, these bands that don't actually play music. And who's fronting this whole operation? Max Martin, a Swedish producer. This guy has more number ones credited to his name in the US Hot 100 Billboard charts than anybody. This is the guy who says we do not need instruments anymore. There is a formula to making a hit song, and Max Martin has that secret, like one of KFC's 11 herbs and spices. He knows how to churn this stuff out, and we've seen others try to copy it. Now we get it abroad, K-pop. They issue out songs you may find catchy, but I refrain from calling it music, and I refrain from calling these people artists. Shouldn't an artist write their own song, maybe play at least one instrument? We used to have bands. Rock music was taken over by country. I've said this many times. Rap, for the first time in 35 years, is not on the top 40 of the charts this week. Pretty shocking. Is America waking up, or is it really more of, we're going to get our slop elsewhere? When it comes to music, can you tell the difference between any country song? They all have the same melody. They may have words that speak to you to pander, right? Oh, you want to be upset about rich people north of Richmond? Is the song good? No, but I live south of there actually, and I'm upset, right? So that's the way this business works. No one cares about quality anymore. It is a pander operation. It is franchise building. And before that, in the 90s, it was about, is this song good? Is this movie good? Is this TV show good? And all of that was well before 2007.
Hey, this is Vaughn's mom, and well, he's doing channel memberships now, and they're really cheap, like his videos.